All right, let's begin today's session. Today, I'm gonna bring you the topic of the challenges of the new Chinese Cosmetic Regulation decrypted. The questions are taken at the end of the webinar. So if you have thought comes to mind, please type it into the text box or talk with me by microphone at the end of the webinar. I can turn on your microphone. Okay. So the reason we are holding this webinar is all because of the umbrella law. Is I show here the cosmetic supervision and administration regulation, which will be implemented on January 1 to 2021. We call it CSAR. With the umbrella law changes, all the supporting regulations and the standard are necessary to be updated, amended, or new published again. So as you can see in the flow chart, under the CSAR, we have plenty new regulations and the standards were published recently, and some of them are totally new, such as at the bottom you can see here, the registration and the filing of new raw materials, and the guidance of cosmetic safety assessment, and the classification rules, and the efficacy claims, and some of them, like I marked the gray, a little bit gray color here, is the toothpaste management measure, and for the measure and the inventory of the raw materials. These are not published yet, and all the regulations are being published, but please be aware, all these regulations are published as a draft and public consulting for public consulting yet, and as estimated to be formally released at the end of this year, I believe, and we will keep updating you if any changes on this. And today's topic is surrounding the CSAR, and all the most important regulations was to mention for our next year's regulation changes. Okay, in today's seminar, I will separate this topic into 5 sections. First of all, I will share with you some data from the NPA filing notification perspective. And to section 2 and 3 will deeply analyze what's gonna affect your cosmetic registration process in 2021. And most importantly, at section 4, I will talk about the animal testing issues in China and how it's gonna be in future. So at the end, I will conclude the challenges and opportunities. Okay, so stay put, let's begin. As we know, China cosmetic market are developing very fast. If we look at 8 years ago in 2012, the market volume is less than 250 billion yuan. The currency is RMB. So however, in last 2019, it surpassed the 400 billion yuan. Also, according to the statistic by the business unit, the market volume in China will reach 500 billion yuan before 2024. So no doubt it could be your next most important market as well. And it's worth to mention that with the COVID-19 virus is almost controlled in China, and the business already started warming again. And the government also promised since last year they will increase the importing volumes to balance the trade surplus and the deficit. So that is why we had the first and biggest international import-export last year at Shanghai, and it will be held again at November this year as well. So I believe China in the future is not just a big growing market, but also is a stable market worth to pay attention to. So another aspect to see the growing of the market is cosmetic filing and the registration certificate that's granted by NMPA for general cosmetic and special cosmetic. I listed here is the data from the 2019 and it's a half year of the 2020. This number shows how many cosmetics are being registered in 2019 and 2020. So at 2019, for example, for imported general cosmetics, 15,000 SKU products being registered in China, and only this year, the half of this year, already 900, almost 10,000 SKU being registered in imported general cosmetics. So let's deep look at the general cosmetic registration between 2019 and 2020 at the first half year at the left chart. As you can see, every month this year's registration are much higher than 2019. On the right side is a chart to show the curve of the imported registration numbers growing each month in 2019. There are two major matters that causing these changes actually. First of all, as I mentioned, is the government is promoting the importing business and to increase the importing volumes. Second is the general cosmetics registration. As if you deal with the registration before, it's very hard because it should be registered in NMPA, national NMPA. Formerly we call CFDA. Okay, so since last year, general cosmetic registration are no longer supervised by national NMPA. The registration is shifting from the national NMPA to province NMPA and change the registration to notification, or we call filing. So which the duration of the filing is much shorter than usual, and the process is a little bit easier than before. So basically you can put your product into the China market within 2 to 4 months. Before the duration is like 6 to 9 months at least. Okay, in this pie chart, we analyzed that all these cosmetics registration certificates are granted to which countries. As you can see, the top one is Korea, and the top 10 France, top 3 is Japan, and number 4, this one is US, I think, is from the US. So as we can see, France took the number 2, but the rest of the countries in EU are relatively take small portion, but take small part. So the same as the EU cosmetics, there are lots of space, I believe, to improve to enter the China market. Meanwhile, more and more distributors, from my experience in China, also begins to pay more attention to EU brand as they are looking for new growth point. That's a list of top 10 categories or words are emerged in the registration products from the registration data. Top 10: cream, mask, eye lotion, body oil, moisture, serum, lip gel, and the moisture is increasing very high, appeared very high frequency, and nature and pure becomes the trend, and then the body protection products are also warmly start raising, welcomed. Okay, for next part, I got to explain what is changed in the CSAR and what we are expecting for 2021. Okay. So for the CSAR, the cosmetic definition is not changed significantly. So products intend to be applied on the human body, the surface human body, by spraying to have the purpose, as you can see here, cleansing, protecting, building, grooming, this maintaining the skin. So please do remember some products like microneedle or to use the specific mechanism to use under the skin. These kind of products will be not recognized as cosmetic in China. Okay, what are the imported cosmetics? That's a question for you to think. Does the L'Oreal China factory manufactured products belong to domestic or imported cosmetics? So the answer is there. Products that's the last manufacturing process that the content belongs to the imported, belongs to identify is domestic or imported, which means, for example, if you ship semi-finished products into China and fill locally as final process, they will belong to domestic manufactured cosmetics. So in this way, the question L'Oreal China factory manufactured products will be recognized as domestic cosmetics. So this is a measures for some brands to avoid animal testing in China as well. Because I also been asked why some big brands, they also claim the animal testing free, but they sell in China. Some of them, they indeed manufactured in China. Okay, for the cosmetic classification, here you can see we have special cosmetics and general cosmetics. For special cosmetics, we have 6 categories: anti-spot whitening, UV protection, hair dye, hair pin, prevent hair loss, and a new effects cleanse. Okay, this is a new regulation, a new classification according to the CSAR, which I will mention later. And the general cosmetics is other than special. So please be aware the soap does not apply to this regulation. Only if the soap claims the special functions which listed above, like whitening, UV protection, etc. Okay, and the toothpaste shall be managed as general cosmetics, which I will mention later. Yes, toothpaste. Toothpaste for under the current structure, toothpaste is no need to do the registration. But for example, in 2029 or 2020, we can import the toothpaste to China freely. Actually, it's a little bit freely as long as you according to complying to the toothpaste national standard. But in the future, the toothpaste will be categorized by the functions, like the functions here. Number 1, the hemostasis, trade of alkals, etc. They will belong to drugs, and the anti-clearance inhibition of dental plaques. This kind of claims will be categorized to general cosmetic with efficacy claim test. And some basic functions will still be governed by categorized as general cosmetics. But here, still the toothpaste will be governed by general cosmetics, but they will be specifically governed by the management method for toothpaste. So in 2021, the highly chance is toothpaste will be general cosmetics, but their registration process will be different with normal general cosmetics. Okay, this is a change from the special cosmetics category. At current regulation, we have nine special cosmetics, which are marked here, will be eliminated from the special cosmetic in 2021. And for the hair growth, it tends to prevent hair loss and other new effects. So what's happened to the current special cosmetic, which will be limited here? Here we have current certificate in effect. We have domestic numbers and importing numbers. Not big, but if you have the products already being registered in China in this category, you should be aware there will have 5 years transition period. In the transition period, you still can produce production, import, and sell. But after that, you cannot to sell the products in China again. Okay, for the hair growth, we can see here, in the future, it will also be categorized by the functions. Like if you claim your product is prevent hair loss by improving hair quality, the products will belong to non-special cosmetics. Okay, and prevent hair loss by improving the scalp condition, it will belong to the special cosmetics. And for some products, like if you claim the promote hair growth by participating in human physiological activities or injection or affect human bodies, these kind of products will be recognized as drugs in the future. Okay, so RP responsibility and the qualification also changed. In the future, we separated to two different rules. As before, we have a brand and a responsible person, but now brands will be recognized as the restaurant for the special cosmetic, and the filing person for the cosmetic, for the general cosmetics. And your agency in China who is responsible for your registration or as a post-market surveillance will be your responsible person. Okay. So as your brand, as a brand, you will be a filing person. All the ingredients manufactured. This is for the new ingredients filing and registration. Okay, and your responsibility is to take the responsible of the quality and the safety, and also the efficacy claims. For the responsible person, first of all, is your local China business entity who will be your subsidiary or maybe your distributor or agency. These are same as before, but the responsibility has changed. The RP will not just to handle your cosmetics registration, it also will be handle your to support you or cooperate with you to providing the cosmetics adverse reaction monitoring, products recall, or new cosmetic ingredients market monitoring. That's a cosmetic registration. Okay. So there are also a qualification requirement. First of all, legally established enterprise in China, and you must have a quality management system suitable for the products applied for registration and filing, and the ability to monitor and evaluate cosmetic adverse reaction. The person also in charge of the quality and the safety has more than 5 years of experience in cosmetic production or quality and safety management. So in this case, we are one question may come to you is such qualification who should apply to for the filing person or responsible person. So mainly, it's a responsible person will help to do such responsibilities, but they should to work with you. So there are some not very certain areas who can have the quality management system, how you cooperate with RP. This will be remain to the formal regulation to be published. But this qualification and this responsibility are almost certain to will be implemented. Okay, so for the adverse reaction monitoring and evaluation system, there's a table for you to reference. First of all, the system we need the positions for adverse reaction information collection, and there's a professional adverse reaction personnel to set. And we need adverse reaction monitoring mechanism, like it's a whole overall operation mode of the adverse reaction monitoring system. And we need to focus on the information collection, adverse reaction evaluation, and measures. Also, we need to make sure the law of the restaurant or failing person, which is brand, and in the adverse reaction monitoring system. And also we need to ensure the collection channels and the evaluation to complete the adverse reaction evaluation and the evaluation criteria for adverse reactions. Okay, so until now you have heard me mention lots of functions and claims, right? Because in the future, NPA is more focused on those categorize the products as claims and functions. So which the efficacy claim test and its evaluation indeed will be a big impact of the cosmetics registration in 2021. To the fact, almost all the Chinese labs who is big enough or capable to expand the business are busy to build the efficacy claim testing labs. We already built a lot of relationship with such labs to deal with to the CSAR change. Okay, so here, so cosmetic efficacy claim test is required by the CSAR, and here is a 2019 the guidelines. So what kind of efficacy will be needed to do the testing or provide solid proof to support the functions? According to the CSAR, except for the directly identifiable effects, such as beauty modification, cleaning, or aroma effects, etc., which the customers can identify at once. So specific effects should be evaluated accordingly. Like I put here, there's a table for you to look at the end of the webinar. I will send you the webinar PPT as well. So as you can see, I will not read all of that, but as you can see, for the special claims, like special cosmetics, most of them request human body tests. But some normal function claims, there will be 3 methods for you to choose. Either we do the human test, or consumer test, or laboratory test. Okay. So, sorry, the laboratory test. Yes, the laboratory test. All the materials I didn't add. All the materials, all the publications also can be here, put on here. So okay. So you can have a look at this table here. Almost all the normal claims will be needed tested or provide solid proof. But be aware this efficient claims evaluation. This table is from the draft of public consulting. It's not solid yet. Okay, so if you consent this one, you can let me know. I will keep update you if any new evaluation comes out, new requirement comes out. Okay, for number 3, we will talk about changes of cosmetics registration and notification. So here's the process, application process for the non-special cosmetics. I will not detail this because you might very familiar with this already. So as we just have a look, we have a responsible person account and the product review. We are reviewing the formula and the label and the claim and the claims and the info. In the information collection, we collect the information like a production process, QC specification, the COFS certificate of free sale, and the package layout, etc. And we put on the testing. Testing must be carried out MPA. Okay, and then we collect all the information, making the dossiers, and then we notify the product at the system. And we got the notification numbers. We put on the product on the market, and the NPA will inspect within 30 days. So the filing duration is 2 to 4 months here. Yeah. Okay. NPA will be inspect later. Hello. Okay. New documents are so. What's changed here in the process in 2021 mainly is the new the collection, the information, more information is required. Okay, so here I'm listed the major changes: the product safety assessment reports and the product classification code, and all ingredients producer supplies information and the quality specification certificate. So as you can see here, in the future, if we want to register products in China, we also need to do the safety assessment report. Here's the requirement here to consist of a report, safety assessment report. As you might quite familiar, is similar to the EU standard. Okay? But to be honest, in China here, our experts are not big enough to support all the huge importing cosmetics evaluation. So the standard might be lower the standard to fetch the cosmetic registration. So we're still waiting for the formal safety standard guidance to be released. So we will know for sure. But for your cosmetic brand already being registered in EU, this is actually good news. You might be used the same report to fit into the China safety assessment report. Only you need to do is according to the requirement to translate and maybe do a little bit add or altering according to the standard. So the evaluation data retention period is the same. Is not less than 10 years after the end of the shelf life of the last batch of products on the market. And in the future registration, we need to provide provide MPA products classification code. So here's the rules. There's a code will be provided to MPA. Where first of all, number like functions, application area, product form, users, and the use method. This is a product classification code, such as the brand, cleansing facial gel. So cleansing is this number, facial is 05 number, and gel is 04, and 01 is for user and the user method. which I show you on this table here to identify the code. So code, the first code is functions, okay, and the second is application area on the human body, and the product form like cream or gel or oils, and the users like normal, infants, children, and other. Other is some kind of products like used for specific person, like pregnant ladies or mothers, etc. This is not, well, actually, this kind of product is not able to register in China before, like for pregnant or breastfeeding mothers cosmetics. Okay, and the use method, but in the future it might be because it's listed here. Okay, and the use method is washing or residential. Okay, so back to here, we have functions, application area use, and we have this code to submit it to the NPA when we do the registration. And all ingredients, manufacturer and supplier information, and the quality specification certificate. Okay, in the current requirement, we only to analyze ingredients like risk substance and the special requirements in the safety and the technical standard for cosmetics. But in the new requirement, well, we need the ingredients manufacturer and suppliers to supply the quality specification certificate all ingredients. So this is will be a little bit of work for the brands to communicate with the ingredients list, ingredients suppliers as well. Okay, so talk about, I just will be mention a little bit about the new cosmetic ingredients registration and filing on 2021. So in China, we still follow the IECSE 2015, which only listed 8,783 ingredients. So the ingredients which not listed in the IECSE will be recognized as new ingredients. And in current law, we are hardly to register new ingredients. So I have a few cases before, took many years to do the registration. To the fact, since 2008, and from then to now, we only have 10 ingredients being registered. Okay, but after 2021, the ingredients will be managed as low-risk ingredients and high-risk ingredients. Okay, so low-risk ingredients like oil is the surfactant, high molecule polymers, or plant extract. This kind of ingredients will only need to do the filing, which will be much easier than before. And you might be put them to the market within a year. Okay, and the high-risk ingredients like preservatives, sunscreen, colorant, hair dye, or wrinkle removal, whitening functions, this will be recognized as a high risk, and it still need to register in NPA, which means will be take more effort and time to complete the registration. So for the low risk ingredients cosmetics, this is good news because in the future, in the past, if you have new ingredients in your cosmetics, which means you cannot get into China, only if you alter the cosmetic, the formula, alter the formula. But in the future, there are trends to do the new ingredients filing first, and then we notify the products later. So here's a little process of the registration. First of all, we identify is a new ingredients or not. If not, we do the risk levels classification. High risk goes to registration, low risk goes to the filing management. Okay, after you got registered or got the ingredient registered or the filed, we have 3 years monitoring period, which means your RP will set a monitoring mechanism and keep reporting to the NMPA to show that the product is safety enough or not. So after 3 years, if the product's safety enough, it will categorized will be included into the ICSA, also the safety standards which I show, like the preserve list or UV filter list, etc. If you have, we have the safety issues during the 3 years on the market use, it will be cancelled. Okay, so I will talk about the conditional animal testing exception and last. Okay, the topic is most concerned lately because lots of saying is cosmetic will be exempt in China. So in the fact, on 2013, you might all familiar, like domestic cosmetics are no need to do the animal testing at all. They use the safety assessment report to instead. But for the currently for the import non-special cosmetics, still need to do the animal testing. Okay, so there are lots of, as I said, there are lots of information that says animal testing will be not needed since 2021, like the article above. And also lots of clients ask me as well, this is this solid now or not? So I have to say it is indeed written at the regulations and the standard, but such regulations are still under the public consulting area, and they are not specifically to say this is no need or yet. Okay, so let's have a look at the milestone here. On 2013, General Cosmetics cancel animal testing. This is for domestic cosmetics. On 2019, notice that this is a draft for the public consulting. Yes, it says general cosmetic animal testing can be instead by safety assessment. And then following 2020, the technical guidelines for cosmetic safety assessment draft as well. Also mention if the conclusion of the report is not sufficient to rule out the risk of the product to human health, the toxicology test method should be used for product safety evaluation. Okay, which means if your proof is you have sufficient proof, you don't need to do the animal testing. Okay, and in 2020, which is, I think this is published on last month on June, sorry, not June, on August. Cosmetics registration and filing information specification is further specified. More conditions will be applied to the animal testing exemption. So I put the original translation articles here so we can avoid unnecessary misunderstanding or interpretation. I will read it for you this. If the manufacturer of general cosmetics has obtained the relevant qualification certification of the production quality management system issued by the cosmetic authority of the original country. So first condition, the brand or the cosmetics need a production quality management system certificate, which such as GMP or ISO, etc. And the product safety risk assessment result can be fully confirmed the safety of the products. So the relevant toxicological test of the product may be exempted items. So second condition is safety risk assessment result can be fully support this product is safe enough. Okay. So following is except for the some situations as well. So number one, the product claims to be used by children. This is cannot be animal testing free. Okay. Two, the product uses new cosmetic raw materials during the monitoring period, which means you have new cosmetic ingredients just being registered, and it's under the 3 years monitoring period. It cannot be exempted from the animal testing. Okay. Sorry. For number three, according to the quantitative grading result, the foreign person or domestically responsible person under the manufacturer listed as key supervision object. This quantitative grading result is currently applied to the domestic manufacturer, the cosmetics. So we should not consider this one yet. But in the future, it might be applied to the imported cosmetics as well. This is a system to identify or classify the responsible person or the filing person who is good at the registration process. If you do the like a little mistake of the filing process, or there are no safety issues during your submitting of the registration, they grade your behavior on this one. Okay, number four, the foreign person or domestic responsible person or production discovers that there are quality and safety problems and is under investigated or punished according to the law. Okay, which means if you are if the foreign person, the brand, or domestic responsible person, you are a responsible person, or product or manufacturer. These three, they are discover the quality and safety problems before. So once your product has safety problems before, so it will be no animal testing exemption again in the future. This is a conditional, whole conditional animal testing. So we have, in conclude, we have 6 conditions actually. 1, quality management system. 2, safety risk assessment report, and not use children, raw material, etc. Okay. So I will talk about a little bit of cross-border e-commerce, which just published last week, I think. If you sell your products through the Tmall Global through the cross-border channels, there are new regulation, a new standard or publication which published by the Tmall Global, which means after 2020, September 17, more testing will be involved for the products sold at Tmall Global. This Tmall Global supplied a list of the prohibited or restricted use of ingredients for the brands need necessary to test and give the report, submit the report to Tmall. So if you need such ingredients list, you can contact me as well. Okay. So challenges and opportunities for our brand. In 2021, if we do the registration, we will have more testing. Okay, like the efficacy claim testing, or and more responsibilities, responsibility like safety or product adverse reaction control or management, we call the quality management system, or recording, etc. And more materials, which I mentioned. We will submit the safety assessment report, and we will submit more materials like the code, product classification, etc. But the opportunities also are huge. First of all, animal testing exemption. So despite I talk about there are no solid proof yet at the animal testing part, exemption part, but as you can see, the regulations is a little bit more and more specific in different regulations according to the publication time. Okay, so reasonable belief as well. Also, I speak a lot of testing lab. The animal testing will be exempt by at 2021, but with the conditional, as I mentioned. Maybe in the future there are more conditions will be published. But eventually, animal testing will be exempted for some kind of general cosmetics. And the safety assessment report, as I mentioned, safety assessment report took the standards for consideration of the EU standard. Okay, so Toothpaste is quite similar. So in the future, if your products already done the safety assessment report, it might be no need to put a huge invest again for the assessment report, maybe just translation or amend a little bit. And for third opportunity, new ingredients filing. If you are very innovative in brands and put a lot of new ingredients in the products, in 2021, we can do the new ingredients filing first, and then we can put the product into the market. So this is big opportunities for the brand who has new cosmetic ingredients in their products. Okay, that's all my presentation today. Thank you for listening. If you are interested in bringing your product into the China market, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. So the service I briefly introduced you already. We do the cosmetics filing and registration, and the ingredients filing, efficacy claim evaluation. Also do trademark registration, brands matchmaking. So I highly recommend you can find me on the LinkedIn. I will share latest regulation update at my post. So it's one of the way to stay on update. Okay.